Hey guys, it's Vanessa with Up and Growing, and we're going to be making a big gingerbread. I'm going to be using my Bose foam clay. I mix some of the chocolate brown with white for the gingerbread color. I'm going to leave my clay very thick, and then I'm going to cut it out with this big gingerbread. I want to do a different size head. I don't like the shape of the head on this cutter, so I am going to cut it off with just a round metal cookie cutter. And I want to leave my clay pretty thick. And then I'm going to use that cookie cutter to remove the head. And then I'm going to roll out a new piece of clay. And then cut it with that same cookie cutter. And then I'm going to attach it right there to the body. And then I'm going to use a chippy brush to make sure that my clay is nice and attached, as well as giving it a little bit of texture. And then I'm going to flip it over, blend that clay a little bit with my finger, and then again with the little chippy brush. So I'm going to use another cookie cutter just to make the smile imprint on the face. And then I'm going to put down a little bit of super glue on my board. I'm going to mark down where I'm going to put my resin eyes. And then I use a toothpick to pick up that glue just a little bit and dab it right where I'm going to place down the eyes. This sheet of resin eyes is from Amazon. It has a bunch of different sizes. It's really good for those of you that make a whole bunch of different things. I will put my affiliate link in the comments. And then I'm just using a toothpick to do the little expression lines. I'm going to cut the top of the head off. We're going to be adding a little something up there later. And now I'm just going to roll out a ball, and then I kind of make it an oval for the nose, and then two the same size balls for the cheeks. And now I'm just going to roll out a thin rope for my icing, and then I'm going to ice around the little feet and hands. I will also put the link for the cookie cutter in the comments for you guys too. I believe it's 8 inches. And now I'm just rolling out a piece to use for icing, and then I'm just going to freehand it here with my X-Acto knife, making a little dripping for the head. Instead of doing the straight icing, I wanted to do something different. Just want to make sure that my cuts are nice and smooth before I attach it to the head. And then just line it up where I want it so I'm not covering the face. Attach it, remove my excess. And now we're going to make a little chef hat. I showed you guys how to do this before in another video, but I'm going to do it again for you. So I just started out putting pressure on one end. I'm going to do that center one a little bigger, and then I'm going to make 2 smaller ones. And then I'm going to attach them, and I just smush them down a little bit, and then I'm going to cut that bottom and make sure that it's a good size for the head. If it looks a little small, it'll probably be fine because we're going to be adding another piece of clay, actually 2 pieces of clay. I don't want to just stick this up there, so I like to add a little insurance. So I super glued a toothpick into her head to attach that. Now don't worry if there's a space there, we're going to be covering that, so I'm just going to roll out a rope. and I had a space there, so it didn't matter. I wasn't going to try and blend it in knowing that I'm going to be adding this other piece of clay. And then I wanted more, so I added another one. I just gave it a little bit of texture. The more texture, the better. In my opinion, I love it. And then I'm going to give the top of the hat a little texture as well. And then we're just going to make a little ball to finish off the top of her little hat. And now I'm going to put a little bit of sprinkles right on that dripping. I'm just going with my red clay. And now I rolled out a red and white rope. I'm going to twist them. I'm just putting little buttons on the front. If you want to use your peppermint, go for it. And then I just roll it up. And then I'm just going to attach them right there to the front. And then I leave that on my table to let it dry completely flat like that. I don't want to move it. This one is dry. I added some little pops of white to the face with the dimensional paint. You can give her a little spoon. She would look super cute on those baking sheets from the Dollar Tree, and then you can embellish it however you want. I will show you guys what I do with mine. I'm going to be using a cutting board to design mine, so I hope I've inspired you guys.